live from Tiffany Amber Gardens here in Lagos. Now joining us is Ojinika Okpe, with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinex. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Dr. Abati. I just busted out laughing. Merry Christmas. You look lovely. And he's such a special being. Rufy on fire. I saw you dancing to Aria Star.
Yes, sir.
You were a perfect backup dancer.
Yes, sir.
Can I hire you?
Please do. Please.
Don't worry, I'll tell her management team. Why not? Well done. You know Rufai loves to dance. It's a festive season. Good morning to you, viewers, and Merry Christmas. Let's begin what's trending. As Christians across the globe celebrate the birth of Christ, Nigeria's president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his Christmas Day message, assured Nigerians of his administration's commitment to alleviating the suffering of the masses. Tinubu also expressed optimism that the nation will witness a new dawn of prosperity. He said, and I quote, "Be confident that by the strength of our joint endeavour, we will shortly emerge into a new dawn of prosperity, peace, and irreversible progress. And as you celebrate this season, please spare a moment of remembrance and prayer for the men and women of our nation's armed forces, bearing arms in our names and ensuring our safety. May God protect them and bring them back to their families." I thought that was a very important message, Ayo. But other state governors, if you look at this day, I believe page 46, also shared their Christmas messages. We got, the Lagos State Governor. We also got, the Kwara State Governor, Peter Obi. They all shared Christmas messages. But in the meantime, President Tinubu's special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, has urged Nigerians to be good ambassadors, stating that neither Tinubu nor the party to which he belongs can build Nigeria alone. Ajuri made the comment during a live television interview. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
Everywhere we go in the world, we're ambassadors, not those people who pass through Senate confirmation. Every last one of us, 200 million plus, we are all ambassadors of our country the moment we step outside. And how we communicate about ourselves and to ourselves, particularly on global open platforms like Twitter, Facebook, these things matter because people are watching us. Do we respect ourselves? Do we respect our country? Do we have dignity? Do we treat ourselves in an honorable way? People are watching us. And I've always said that, look, we don't want to undermine the very important work His Excellency Mr. President is doing, going around the world, actively courting investment and securing investment, not just asking for it, but getting it. We don't want to undermine that by engaging in this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where we say, oh, things are so bad in Nigeria. Oh, unemployment is high. Our youths don't have jobs, this and that. Meanwhile, the people that will bring their money to create these opportunities are the same people you're saying Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, Nigeria cannot be better, Nigeria is a terrible place to be, we need to run from Nigeria. We have to be mindful. See, every nation has its problems. If you go to the United States and you live there, you will know what their problems are. But they're very careful about how they present themselves to the world. They don't play with it. There's a way that they handle themselves in-house and a way that they handle themselves in public spaces, giving speeches and all of this. My point is, yes, we all want the Nigeria of our dreams, and we're working assiduously to achieve that. But as we do so, we should, I think, get to a point where we understand that electioneering and the process of campaign, it ends and governance begins.
Well, all right, Rufai, Ayo, Dr. Abati, obviously you know that this comment will generate a lot of reactions. Let me take Michael's tweet. He wrote, "I agree 100% that it is all hands on deck when it comes to nation building, but government needs to provide a strong, stable and secure foundation required to encourage citizens to participate, believe and invest in building the nation." I mean, no citizen of Nigeria would like to paint Nigeria in a bad light. I mean, I think that Ajuri Ngelale made a lot of valid points, but it's also important to be able to criticize when the time comes.
I tell people constructive criticism by the citizenry to government is the biggest form of patriotism.
Absolutely.
It is not because they don't love their country. In fact, it's because they love their country too much and they want you to do well. That's why they criticize. So, like Ajuri said, all hands must be on deck. The government too should do their own part. But the problem is the government hardly does their parts. You see, that's why it's very sad. Okay, take for instance this train something. You will have thought that they should do more logistics properly. You know, you want to give the free train 5 million people.
Yeah.
You want to give half price of bus. At least you should have done more logistics. See a way you can track them. See how you can make it more seamless for people. Look at the trip to Dubai. Squandering our riches. Look at the budgets that we went through the cycle.
Yes.
The fact that how some ministries were getting, how cars were, your money was used to buy cars for the wife of the president. You can't be doing all of that as a government and I expect the citizens to work with you because they,
or even launder the image of the nation.
So when we see that kind of thing, shenanigans by government, are we not going to talk about it? Because we don't want to pay Nigeria a bad image, we will not keep quiet. No, we have to say it the way it is.
Right.
So that the government will be able to do what they ought to do to be able to make the nation. So, you see, I think in 2024, enough of this advice by government officials. If they start to do well and the citizens see it, they will step up.
Yes.
They will do well. Because you see, most of the things people learn are through observation. The reason why the citizens are not being carried along is because they are observing that you are not treating the people well. You want the citizens to have a collective heart at development. You are going to fritter our cash away in Dubai. You are adding more money to buy cars, not even made in Nigerian cars in the budget. You are seeing all sorts of shenanigans. You are hearing corruption from back and center. Absolutely. So these are the things that are winning. A lot of Nigerians love Nigeria. I've never seen a bunch of people that are so patriotic like Nigerians. Right. Especially those in the diaspora. That's why we must push this year to ensure that we get the rural voting. Yes. So they want to support their country. Absolutely. But government needs to understand that it's when they are dropping the ball. If they do, we'll celebrate them.
Yes, and the Nigerian
I want to be proud of this country and this government.
Nigerian spirit is so beautiful. You see it when we play sports, even with Hilda Abati, when she, contested for the Guinness World Record. We all want to paint the image of the nation in a good light. But how possible it is? What are the dangers of laundering the image of Nigeria, Dr. Abati?
Well, every country launders its image, whether it is India or China or Singapore, because you want to present your country in a good light. So that's part of the responsibility of government, marketing your nation, selling it as an important destination. And I think President Tinubu has been doing a very good job of doing that. As the chief foreign policy officer, all the events that he has been to, his main message to the world has been, look, Nigeria is, a desirable destination for investment. Right. And that he, as president of Nigeria, one of the things he will do is to provide an enabling environment. However, it is one thing to market your country. It is another thing to make sure that, in fact, that enabling environment is available in terms of security, in terms of foreign exchange opportunities, in terms of investment, opportunities, in the real sense of it. And this will form the substance of President Tinubu's 8-point agenda, with which he has been engaging Nigerians under the rubric of renewed hope, what he calls the renewed hope agenda. Now, to go to his Christmas message, I made a point earlier on this program that the main thing that sustains Christianity, the Christian faith, is optimism, hope that tomorrow will be better. And what do politicians sell? They sell hope, so that, people can be reassured that tomorrow will be better. And that's principally what President Tinubu did today when he said, he was restating his commitment to serving Nigerians. 2, that his government will continue to provide palliatives, and then calling on Nigerians to be kind to one another. And then, of course, he used the opportunity to remember the fallen heroes who paid the biggest price for serving their countries. When his wife spoke to children, she also struck the same line about optimism. Now, Ajuri Ngelale, talking about every one of us playing a part, well, that's a no-brainer, okay? What government has always said, from Jonathan, from Yaradua to Jonathan, to Buhari, to Tinubu, is to say that the business of making Nigeria bigger, was it greater, that they say in the United States, it's a collective responsibility. So there's something in the books called citizen responsibility, civic responsibility. So we also have a responsibility. However, the part of it that we have problems with is that when our leaders tell us that we have a responsibility to make Nigeria better and that we need to make sacrifice, our concern is that the people make the sacrifice We are resilient in the face of sacrifice. But our leaders, do they make the same sacrifice?
Right.
People cannot travel even with a 50% reduction. Our lawmakers, they are collecting SUVs. Okay? They have collected bonuses to go and enjoy themselves at Christmas at a time when inflation is over 28%. Many Nigerians do not even know it's Christmas. Many of the people in IDP camps, internally displaced persons, they don't know it's Christmas.
Yes.
Okay? So the message is, yes, the people of Nigeria are ready to make sacrifice. After all, we were once described by the Swedish Institute as the happiest people on earth because we are told that suffering has become very genetic. It has been ingrained in our DNA. No matter how bad the situation is, Nigerians are perpetually optimistic. What we expect in 2024 is that those who lead us from president down to the subnationals will walk the talk. The people will make the sacrifice. We should also see them too, leading by example, making the sacrifice. That will be the true expression of collective responsibility. That responsibility should not be one-sided.
Absolutely.
That's my point.
Ajuri also made the point that building Nigeria shouldn't be a partisan issue. I mean, I don't know what you make of that.
Yes, I mean, absolutely. Like Dr. Abati mentioned, it's a no-brainer. And he's spoken well. He said the things that ought to be said, and truly, when it comes to the nation, everyone should put all hands should be on deck. Even the president, during his speech, his inaugural speech, had said that he was not going to work along party lines. He was willing to draw everyone in to ensure that we build this nation. At the end of the day, no matter where you go, Nigeria is home. And that's why I say east or west home is best. I said it once here that if you ask the number of people who've jackpot or who've migrated to other parts of the world, many of them would rather be home in Nigeria if Nigeria was an enabling environment to thrive. But unfortunately, necessity has pushed them to another country, and so they have to support Nigeria from afar. And that's why I support very much the fact that if you want us to stay or to support Nigeria, irrespective of your political party affiliation, irrespective of your ethnic background, just being Nigerian, then it must start from the top. Leadership is from the top. You must lead by example.
Right.
I believe that Nigerians are one of the most loyal and faithful citizens across the world, because no matter what has been thrown at us, naira scarcity, fuel scarcity, ethnic violence, different things, we still come back. We want to build the nation. Right. The reason why people are actually actively involved in politics and criticize government where there needs to be criticism is because there's a love. It's born from a love for this nation and the desire to see this nation work. No one is criticizing government because they want to pull down the nation. Right. Because if you do that, where are you going to go to? At the heart of criticism is a desire to see change. At the heart of criticism is a passion for this nation. And so, whilst he's speaking absolutely correct, and we must continue to remind ourselves that the government must also lead by example, because it seems as if they don't have the passion for Nigeria, because we don't put the headlines out there that someone has stolen 35 billion naira or a snake has come into a complex to steal something. Or, these absurd and bizarre stories.
37 billion.
It's not Nigerians that are making these headlines. No. It's the government that is making the headlines. Absolutely. We're not cooking up these stories. They are real stories that ought to embarrass a nation. So let it start from the top, and the people will naturally follow, because Nigerians love Nigeria.
Yes. Dr. Abati and Rufai mentioned the bus ride. You mentioned the bus ride, he mentioned the train ride. Nigerians are, even with the 50% discount, Nigerians are not, even able to travel. Some of it is even probably owing to insecurity. Most people, they say that they travel to the southeast. I mean, the government, they have to do their part. Well, Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka paid a courtesy visit to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is vacationing in Lagos for the Christmas holiday, and presented a 7-point agenda on ways to move the country forward. The Nobel laureate, who is an advocate for good governance, told newsmen after the visit that it would be too early for him to criticize the president, saying that he will give him 1 year to find his bearing. Soyinka went further to state that as a routine, he stays away from criticizing governments before they exhaust their first year in office. Let's take a listen.
Well, actually, it's an embarrassing visit, because when I visited him the last time, it was to try and persuade him not to run for office. I think I've written about that. I told Atiku and himself that they should please leave the grounds for young people. That's the last time we met, about 5 years ago. And I call him secretly Olori Kunkun, the stubborn man. So he ignored my advice completely. So I came to see how he was doing after neglecting my advice. Wanted to see if both he and his wife were weathering Nigeria as well as can be expected, and to wish them a happy Christmas. He's an old friend, as you know very well. And it was as a friend that I told him, don't run, leave this thing alone. But he ignored me.
Now that he has decided to run, like Olori Kunkun you called him, are you convinced otherwise now?
Well, you know, something you may have noticed about me, that most heads of state, when they take office, I always leave them alone for about the first year. I don't know if you've seen that, if you've noticed that. Because they need, I know when they come in, they don't start from ground zero. They often start even lower than ground zero, and they have to make up. So I have this personal policy, whether it's Obasanjo or Buhari or Jonathan, you'll notice that during the first year, I hardly ever say anything. And then people ask me, why are you not talking? I say, go and ask the last person whether I spoke during the first year. So I'm adopting the same principle this year. At the end of 1 year, ask me that question.
So what would you like to see him do in the next...
That's very simple. I came here with a 7-point agenda. And we had a very thorough discussion.
All right, Dr. Abati, Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka, they're saying that it was quite an embarrassing visit because he had told the president not to run. But now he's presented a 7-point agenda, not an 8-point one. I wonder what those items are that he's about to discuss. But, you know, he had him saying that he's not, going to criticize the president until after 1 year goes by. What do you make of that?
Well, fair enough. I
Yes.
mean, Professor Wole Soyinka went to visit the president who is in Lagos at the moment for the Christmas holidays. You don't expect him to leave his house immediately and start condemning him. That would not, be the kind of, standard civility that people express. But more important is the point that Professor Soyinka made about the fact that when Nigerian presidents get to office, they start from below ground zero. And, in this particular case of the Tinubu administration, we have heard from Wale Edun, the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of Economy, who told us that, look, they met an economy that had completely almost collapsed. We had similar comments from Yemi Cardoso, the CBN governor. Of course, we have heard from Minister Adelabu, who said that things were so bad that President Tinubu cannot even contemplate further removing electricity subsidy after he had announced the removal of fuel subsidy on day one. So, in other words, that confirms also what Professor Soyinka is saying, that many presidents start from below ground zero. It's like they need to repair what they are meeting on the ground. And he has said, speaking for himself, that he will give the Tinubu administration 1 year before he can begin to make any critical comment. And that's why I said that's fair enough. 1 year is enough for a government to settle down. He says he has presented before President Tinubu a 7-point agenda, which in a sense is also irreversible, because he said he had advised him not to run. That he said, look, the younger generation should be allowed to take over. He and Atiku should allow young people. But he ignored his advice. Now that he's there, he's Nigerian president, well, we all have to work with him. And he says, okay, this is my own 7-point agenda. You have 8-point agenda. Look at the two together and see what you can do. 1 year's time, if you have not moved the needle in any significant manner, everyone knows, Professor Soyinka's, reputation as a conscience of the nation, as a man who is never timid in speaking truth to power and saying his mind. And of course, he has all the facilities that you can imagine, intellectual, creative, to be able to put his hands on, the exact point. So we wait and we watch. He will be watching the Tinubu administration as we too are watching here. We may intervene before 1 year. Because every day we are monitoring.
I think we've been speaking, Dr. Abati. What you were trying to say earlier was how to make Nigeria great.
Great.
That's the American slogan.
Yes.
Trump, actually.
MAGA.
MAGA. So we're all looking forward to making Nigeria great. Well, Rufai, this is your story. Over the weekend, I interviewed the governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, who is known as the dancing governor, owing to his viral dance moves, which have broken the internet on many occasions. And so I wanted to know the inspiration behind his love for dancing. Here's a snippet of that interview.
Actually, I'm supposed to be a musician, right away. But my father could not allow it. During the time when we were going off in the 60s,
Yeah.
they don't believe that they don't believe that somebody should go and do music.
That's not the
or
trade.
play football and everything. They just wanted to go to school.
Correct.
So it discouraged me.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that I still have that, talent.
Yeah, right.
Thank God that I passed it to my nephew and my son. They're doing very well.
You taught your nephew how to dance.
Yes.
How is that? But you're multi-talented.
Yes.
I heard that you're also a drummer.
Of
And
course.
only recently, I heard you sing.
Oh.
So you're a well-rounded entertainer.
My God.
People
yes.
say that if you leave the government house, you have a career in music or entertainment.
Well,
Are you
never
going
say
to go
never,
for
never
that?
say never.
Would you do that?
It can happen.
Absolutely.
Never say never. Anything can happen. Music, if you play music now, I don't know how to. Something will just tell me.
Can somebody turn on the music right now, please? We need it.
So if you don't play music,
Yes.
I don't know how my body will just start moving without knowing it.
Yeah, you were telling me earlier that you participated in a lot of dancing competitions.
Let me tell you about that.
I'd love to hear that.
I got to America in 1981, and then of course, the name of my school that time in Alabama, United States of America, is called Jacksonville State University.
Wow, coincidence.
Yes. So it's a countryside, it's a university town.
Right.
That was the day that the school was having their anniversary. A lot of activities, a lot of festivities, so there's dancing competition there. So I picked the dancing part.
Right.
So after the stage 1, stage 2 and everything, so we got into the finals. So to cut the whole story short, I won. So when I won, I remember vividly the president of our school, Mr. Montgomery, and he was trying to pronounce my name. He said, "Oh, what the heck." And it was during the time of Michael Jackson 5, they were raining. And he said, "You know what? Since you won this election, hey, in school here, since you are in Jacksonville, you are now Jackson. I call you Jackson."
Don't tell me that's how you got your name.
That's how I got my name. And Jackson stuck.
Wow.
I have it in my passport, my certificate, and everything.
I was just saying coincidence. I thought you were born Jackson.
My father gave me a name at my birth. Ademola Nuruddin Adeleke. My mom gave me Ifeanyi, but my mother is Igbo.
Yeah.
But you can only use 3
Yes.
in your passport. So in my passport now I have Ademola Jackson Adeleke.
When I land, I land softly on the sofa floor. So far, so good. Only by you. Let me see you. Let me see you.
Rufai, I mean, now we know.
I thought as much.
Ademola Jackson. I did quiz you earlier.
I thought as much.
Now we know how he got his name.
But the good thing about him is he's a man that is very happy.
Yes.
And he likes to show it, and he likes to have a dance. And, we share a lot in common because we had dancing once.
Trust me,
both
he was talking about you the whole time. He was talking about your dance moves.
And I'm just so happy,
Yeah.
But most importantly, he's done well for his people in Osun State,
Yes.
but he should continue to do well because the priority there is what we can do for the people. Because leadership is not about us. It's not about the leaders. It's not about the governor. It's not about whoever is in power. And you should understand that power is transient. Before you know it now, very soon, he start looking forward to his next 10 years. So I'm not surprised that his teacher that couldn't call his name in school just look and say, "Oh, Michael Jackson at the heydays of Michael Jackson." So named it that. So all we can just hope for is the best for the good people of Osun State.
Right.
And he should continue his good works. I think Tai Sholari praised the very famous prayer, "May your road be rough a lot of things will happen, but he will strike through challenges. Yeah.
Well, Rufai, I look forward to another dance challenge between you and the governor. Well,
I'm waiting. I'm challenging him.
You're challenging him, but he says he dances better than you.
No. I beat him that day.
Did he, Ayo?
No, I beat him that day.
You're not sure?
No. So I can do the Congo below, he can't.
No, we have footage. So hopefully we'll get to air that interview tomorrow, Dr. Abati. Well, all right. Shall we end what's trending today in a festive mood by highlighting the all-white party over the weekend, organized by the chairman of Shouldnt, Tony Elumelu, which had in attendance the movers and shakers in Nigeria, including the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and billionaire businessman, Alhaji Abdul Samad Rabiu. Let's take a look.
Now you know, now you know, if you know, you know, the big ballers in town. Now you know, now you know, never get boo, forget what I know them, yes. Agba Bola, how much is money? Balling, premium or nothing. Now you know, now you know, now you know, now you know. Never get boo, forget what I know them, yes.
Well, I thought to leave you all with that video to ginger your Christmas mood. Dr. Abati, guess who's another good dancer? Sanwo-Olu, because I attended that event. So now I challenge him and Rufai. Hopefully I am dancing. You saw me dancing? When was that? At the party? Yes, I did attend the party and I was dancing. It was a fun party, all-white party. I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.